Honoring the Sabbath is the one commandment out of the Big Ten that people for some reason think is optional. People willingly sin by breaking the Sabbath and still think they're saved. The Sabbath is a direct covenant sign between you and God. People who don't keep the Sabbath aren't under his covenant and therefore not his children. They're committing a sin that they have no idea the severity of. And that's why I'm making this video, to cover a topic that nobody wants to touch on. First and foremost, I need to clear up this horrible and demonic misconception that the Sabbath day was done away with, or even worse, replaced by the day of sun worship. Isaiah chapter 56 completely shatters this. It directly correlates entering the kingdom with keeping the Sabbath. How blessed is the man who does this, and the son of man who takes hold of it, who keeps from profaning the Sabbath, and keeps his hand from doing any evil. For thus says Yahuwah, to the eunuchs who keep my Sabbaths, and choose what pleases me, and hold fast my covenant, also the foreigners who join themselves to Yahuwah, to minister to him, to love the name of Yahuwah, to be his slaves, everyone who keeps from profaning the Sabbath, and takes hold of my covenant, even those I will bring to my holy mountain, and make them glad in my house of prayer. For my house will be called a house of prayer for all the peoples. This whole chapter in Isaiah focuses on how the foreigner can join themselves to the God of Israel under the new covenant. He tells them, if you want to enter my kingdom, keep my Sabbaths. It sounds just like what Yahusha says. If you wish to enter into life, keep the commandments. And that's all of the commandments, not ignoring the ones that you deem to be just too legalistic for you. Sabbath breaking isn't like other sins. It's in a category way more serious. God says whoever breaks his Sabbath is to be killed, stoned to death with stones. And yet Christians who supposedly say they serve this God seriously think they won't be judged for breaking his Sabbath. Listen to Paul in Romans chapter 2, because what he says should really put things into perspective. Because of your stubbornness and unrepentant heart, you're storing up wrath for yourself in the day of wrath and revelation of the righteous judgment of God, who will repay each according to his works. For it is not the hearers of the law who are just before God, but the doers of the law will be justified. Every week you ignore his law and profane his Sabbath, you're storing up wrath for yourself. And if you want to see how serious Yahuwah takes this sin, read about the man in Numbers 15 and let it put fear into you. All this man did was collect some wood, and God deemed him worthy of being killed in one of the most brutal ways you could imagine. Please, I urge you to pause and read this passage, and let this man be an example to all of us. Except this man was lucky compared to what Christian Sabbath breakers are gonna face. Because in America, a majority Christian country, this law isn't enforced as it should be. So week after week, Christians store up debt for themselves that they're gonna need to pay for in hell one day. And yet, it's worse for believers in Messiah because we were told that judgment is much more severe for believers. If you're watching this, you now have full knowledge and full accountability for breaking the Sabbath, so there's no excuse. And that slave who knew his master's will and did not get ready or act in accord with his will receive many beatings, but the one who did not know and committed deeds worthy of a beating will receive but a few. From everyone who has been given much, much will be required, and to whom they entrusted much, of him they will ask all the more. Satan designed this world so that the Sabbath is profaned. Our calendar is structured so people work Monday to Friday and get off Saturday and Sunday. Friday sundown to Saturday sundown is supposed to be the most holy and sacred of all of Yah's appointed times, more holy than even the Passover. And what is the world doing during this 24-hour period? They're going out, they're partying, they're participating in more sin and lawlessness during this period of time than they would any other day of the week. Friday night is the most holy and set apart night of the week for the people of God. And the world chooses this same night to be the one night where they think it's okay to let loose and do what they want to do. Movies, concerts, sporting events, parties, all of these things conveniently happen the one night of the week that our God calls most holy. And then after they had their fun, they show up to church for the day of pagan sun worship to worship their 3-in-1 repackaged sun god. It's the ultimate disrespect of Yahuwah, and these people have their day of vengeance coming to them. As a set-apart child of the Most High, you most likely will need to accept the fact that you probably aren't going to have any friends. You're going to need to turn down invitations and make sacrifices. You're going to look like a no-life to everybody. I know this can be extremely difficult, especially living in a country as lawless and ungodly as the United States. But this is the price you pay for eternal life. If anyone wishes to come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake and the gospel's will save it. For whoever is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, the Son of Man will also be ashamed of him when he comes in the glory of his Father with the holy angels. Don't be ashamed of his words. Stand firm in his law and endure to the end. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.